Great, we are live. Hey folks, we are live in the Facebook group, Six Figure House Flippers, exciting stuff. Today we are doing a Q&A session. This is a Q&A session. We're gonna be answering some questions. I have some pre-written questions here. If you have any questions you wanna answer, go ahead and answer them. Comment below like, hey, this is my question. Anything real estate related, anything fix and flip related, buying houses, selling houses. Let's put this over here. Buying houses, selling houses, how to find deals, how to work with contractors, how to run numbers. Any questions, pop them below. If you have no questions, that's totally fine. Go ahead and put hashtag live if you're watching on the live, and then hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. And that helps the Facebook algorithm pick up this live and like show it to people. Like, hey, people like this, people are commenting on this, going to share it and share the knowledge. Everyone, what's cool about real estate, everyone can be successful in it, especially, everyone listening on this. So it's not like I can be successful, you can't be successful. We can all help each other out. We can all, hit our goals. So that's great. So yeah, so we got a Q&A session here. I'm going to answer some questions and we'll really get into it here. So someone was asking me like, what's a money partner and would they cover EMD? So let's start with that. So let's start with what's a money partner. So a money partner, that's kind of how I got started as well. So a money partner is someone who puts in the money to buy the property, to fix up the property, to sell the property, and they would split the profit with you. Why would they do that? Because you're kind of the boots on the ground, you're the sweat equity, you're the one who's going to find the deal, you're the one who's going to manage the deal in terms of renovations, in terms of selling the place. Like you're the one taking care of it A to Z. So that's that. So you're pretty much doing that A to Z. So that's that. So that's what a money partner. That's how I got started. Actually, that's what my first deal was. My first deal was a flip. So we bought it for 105. We put in a little under 30, and then we made 28K net profit. We made 28K after all expenses. We split that. We actually split that. I got about a third of it is how I did it. So I made about 9,000 on that deal, but that's 9,000 I didn't have before. It helped me get my first deal. The money partner got their money back, and they made like, what is that? 18,000. My math right on that. They made about 20,000. They made 2/3. I made 1/3, right? So it was worth it for them. They made a big profit, rather than sitting and having their cash sit in the bank, collecting dust and collecting 0.0001% or whatever it is nowadays. They were able to put it into a flip, and they made 20 grand. And we were in and out of that property. We bought it in November of 2018, and we closed January. So it was November, December. So we were in like 3 or 4 months. So that's what a money partner is. And then the question is, would they cover EMD? EMD being like escrow or earnest money deposit, like escrow. So typically there's kind of like a quote unquote down payment, or there's a certain amount of money you kind of put up to say like, hey, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I'm the one who's going to buy this property. I've put aside this much money because I'm interested. For escrow, I've seen anywhere from $100 to $1,000 to 5,000, 10,000. You want to get that escrow money as low as possible, just if you have to back out, so you'd lose it potentially. But the question is, would a money partner cover EMD? And the answer is yes. So they typically would, if it's a good deal. Like if it's a good deal, they'll cover it, no problems. If it's not a good deal, that's a different. They're probably not gonna want to talk to you too much. But yeah, so a lot of people ask me like, well, I don't have any money to get started. I have, like $1,000 to my name. Can I get started flipping? And the answer is yes, because that's how I got started flipping, guys. I got started a low 500 credit score. I got a couple thousand in the bank, and I was able to get started and start flipping. And here I am today. I'm on track for about 30 flips this year. So I've bought 21 so far this year, and I have 8 under contract. So keeping busy, and we're still in like October, so I still got time to pick up a couple more. So the point being, like, you got to get started somewhere. So if money's the constraint, then you got to figure out like, how else can I add value? And finding value is like finding a great deal where you can flip and make a profit. That answers that. Someone was asking like, what's 70% rule, and do I always have to stick with it? So 70% rule, that's like a rough metric on how to buy properties. So it's 70% of ARV minus repairs. That's your max offer. ARV being like after repaired value. That's like the retail price. Like once you fix this place up, like what can you sell it for? That's ARV. Repairs is like what you need to put into a place to fix it up. So 70% ARV minus repairs. So to put it into an example, let's say you fix up a place, you can sell it for 100,000. So 100,000, okay, cool. 100,000 times 0.7, which is 70. Let's say repairs are 10,000 minus 10, be 60. So 60 is the max you could pay for that place. That's the max you can offer for that home. 60,000, right? So it's 70% rule. So anything below 60,000, if someone offers you that place for 40,000, take it. That's a deal. If someone offers you that place for 90,000, that is not a deal. Pass, move on, all that good stuff. So hopefully that helps. That's what the 70% rule is. And someone was asking, should I always stick to it? I've been a little more lenient, a little more flexible with it recently, just because the market is so hot. And with the market being so hot, we just, we don't have to worry about it. We can, we know it's going to sell quicker. It's going to sell for more. Maybe we'll get a bidding war, and we'll, make a little more money on it. So I have been a little more flexible with the 70% rule, maybe going up to like 75%. Just realize the higher you go in that rule, like the more risky it is going to be. So it's more risky. Like, what if it doesn't sell for as much as you think? What if repairs go over? Like, that's your profit buffer. That's your margin of error if things go wrong. So just realize it is a little riskier, but if you're confident in your numbers, then you're good to go there. Great. My property's been sitting for a couple months. I got an offer. Should I counter? I assume this person's talking about like they're selling their property, like they're flipping it. They've bought it. They fixed it up. They're about to sell it. So I'll assume that's the case. Should I counter? Should I counter? Typically, and we're still in a hot market as of this like recording here. So if it's been sitting on the market for a couple months, it's probably overpriced, especially in today's market. Like, things are going quick. If it's a great deal, it'll go in a couple days, and even good deals go in like a week or two. So if it's been sitting on the market for a couple months, it's probably overpriced. I've had properties before where I'm kind of happy just to get rid of them, if that makes sense, where I don't even counter. Like, they give me a lower offer, than what's asking. I'm like, great, take it. I don't counter. I move on. So the answer to your question here is like, should I counter? So it's going to be dependent on you and your situation and the property. Like, if you think you can get a better price, I would say counter. If you're just happy to get rid of it, I would just take the offer and run. The other thing is, like, especially when you're asking for a counter offer, asking like a negotiating or that sort of thing, it doesn't hurt to ask. Like, you never know. You just never know. You just never know what someone's going to accept. And worst case, you'll just drop down to the original. So this happened recently. So we're actually selling a property. We had it listed for about 309. No, 309. We were a tad overpriced. That's a long story. We're a tad overpriced. We're just trying to see what we can get. Came in an offer with 300. So we countered. We were selling the property. We said, well, this was a flip. We countered like, oh, can you guys do 304? Meet us in the middle. It's going to be a deal. They said, no, we got to stick to 300. They asked, they countered. We ended up taking 300. It was still going to be a great flip for us. We're going to still make a ton of profit. But it didn't hurt to ask. Like, worst case, we just, we went with their offer, and it didn't hurt us to ask for the counter. It didn't hurt them to say no. So hopefully that helps. Like, you can always ask for a counter and always like stick back to it. It's pretty rare that you ask for a counter and they're like, actually, on second thought, I don't want to deal with you ever again. So you can always back up. And so it's easy to like raise your price. It's really hard to lower it when you're negotiating. I asked a question here in the Six Figure House Flipper group. If you guys want to join the group, it's Six Figure House Flippers on Facebook. It's a free group, so make sure to join it there. I asked there, and I wanted to share my answer. Like, what's your favorite real estate investing book? I got to go with a classic. I really like Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think it's a great like primer just to like really open up people's minds, like what you can do with real estate, what you can do with business. Like, it's a very basic book. It like gives you the foundations. I don't think it's great in terms of like detail specifics, like how to blueprint, all that stuff. I think it's a great book to open up your mind. Like, wait a second, I can do this with real estate, this with real estate, this with real estate. And just to kind of open up your mind to the world of possibility. So that's my favorite real estate book. Is that Rich Dad Poor Dad? Wanted to share that. Awesome. Question here. Another question here. Do you do an inspection on every property, and why is that? I do. Every time I haven't done an inspection, it's bitten me in the butt, to be honest. So I always do it. So how it typically works, so let's say we find a deal, we put under contract. Sometime between actually buying it and closing on it, we do the inspection. So typically within a couple of days of putting it under contract, we do the inspection. Why do we do that? You don't want any surprises. This isn't like HGTV. Like if you do everything opposite to HGTV, then you'll have a good time when it comes to flipping. HGTV, they make it like a entertainment. They open a wall, or they get into the house or get into the renovation. They're like, oh wow, there's this thing we totally didn't expect. There's this thing we didn't know about and we didn't account for. Now it's going to cost us extra. You don't want to be in that position. And like professional flippers are rarely in that position where they know what they're getting into. So there's no surprises. So that's why I like to do the inspection, get a third party in there. The third party is going to take a look at it and like, okay, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's this? Just because, so you don't miss anything. So especially when you're doing like your repair budget, like you don't want to have this, oh, well, turns out we need a new roof, or hey, turns out we need new plumbing and a repipe. So it's like, you don't want these surprises. Surprises are bad. I like boring flips. I like flips where, it happens according to schedule. It happens according to the plan. It happens, goes on budget. I like those types of flips. I don't like HGTV style. It's like, oh, this is broken and this is broken. Now we're over budget and now this is this. I don't do that. That's not my style. I'd rather be the boring guy when it comes to these types of things. In, out, made 30K net profit, boom, next one. Just keep it simple. So that's why we do an inspection. It's just so there's no surprises. An inspection costs anywhere from probably $300 to about probably $1,000. It's going to depend on your area. I paid for one recently. It was $444. We used to pay a guy $300, so it's somewhere in that range. It's 100% worth it. And I've had people like feel bad, like, oh, I paid for inspection and backed out of a deal. That's the best money you can ever spend, because like sometimes the best deal you do is the deal you don't do. So I'd rather you find all these surprises now before you own the place than getting into it, owning this place and having a nightmare scenario. So that's my 2 cents. So hopefully that helps that question, that answer there. Cool. That's all the questions I have today, folks. Very much appreciate everyone joining here. Very much appreciate everyone like hopping on here, asking your questions. If you want to have reach out to me with your questions, just hit me up on Facebook. Also join the Facebook group Six Figure House Flipper, but also make sure to just reach out to me like, hey, I have a question, and I can answer it in here, or I can just answer you in Messenger. But I'm here to help. I flip houses full time. I'm on track for 30 flips, as mentioned. I also mentor people like how to get started flipping. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to reach out to me. And typically Facebook is best. So we can end it there. Just answer some of y'all's questions, and appreciate it. And until next time, thanks.